They look pretty ill. That Needler looks awesome.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any marker discussion going on?
No,
during
we're
this
gonna-
time?
No, I put on a degreaser conversation just to piss you off.
I'm going to pull a random marker out of my ass here halfway through the podcast.
It's the Wiggs Bergeron, segment where we can piss off as many people.
Every week we're going to review a different marker.
I'm
just
going
for-
at
just for
length
Scott.
about plant-based degreasers later.
With the greasers, I don't care.
I thought it was super interesting. I don't give a shit about Bergeron.
Alcohol markers blend very well, I have
No,
you know.
God forbid you have to draw. You have a fucking hobby.
You're passionate. I'll give you that. You're passionate. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So first up, while you're here, let's get you going. Well, how is the winter real estate business doing for you this year?
So business is always doing well for me because I hustle pretty hard. But the biggest thing that you're
Oh,
seeing,
I need to apologize. Is the housing market back up? Because my assessment came in and just completely shot up. The next door neighbor's house listed for a lot. I'm like, the market is rebounding.
you know you can fight that, right?
What's that?
You can fight that assessment.
If it goes up too high on
you
me,
go,
I
you
can.
usually it's in March. You go to the tax hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, you can fight that. I mean, let me know. I'll get you some comparables and maybe get you a different number.
But nonetheless, I brought it up because I think the market is definitely on an uptick.
Well, so here's what's happening.
Until
though. For
Sanders
about
gets elected.
The last
Until the socialist gets in that baby.
I didn't expect that to come. Please don't give me a heart attack. So the last couple of years, the inventory, meaning the amount of houses on the market, has been real low. So it's kind of that's what's driving price. Like I give you an example.
There's no options out there.
Right. So
if you want to buy a house, you only got like 10 houses.
Look, the same couple I showed today. We went Thursday night. We looked at one house because they were really excited about it in Warren, and they were one of 18 offers.
Well,
Think about that for a minute. One of 18.
but even in 07 when we bought this house, like there was a lot of off. I think that if you can find that right sweet spot, and that's your job as a realtor, and
Yep.
you know what I mean, is to find that sweet. You want that action, right? Like as
On the list side, you do.
You
on
do.
on the buy side, you're just chasing things around.
Yeah, well, because I've heard horror stories like you find something on a website like a MLS or whatever
Yep,
it is, and then by the time you even go see it, there's an offer already plunked down on that mug. Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
That's the thing. I mean, like, so what you should do, and this is, I mean, other realtors can disagree with me. That's fine. What you should do when you list a house is you leave it on the market for 3 to 5 days. That's what we call exposing it to the market. Okay, so if somebody ever tells you my house sold in 1 day, well, you didn't expose it to the market, right? Because if
You might have got more loot
right,
for it.
if 5 or 10 more
You
people have
underpriced
seen
that
it,
mug, yeah.
right, they would have all of a sudden gone.
Yeah.
Hey, then you get a bidding war going, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I always tell folks. You want to put your house in the market right at market or a little bit below because you want 2 people to want it at once.
You want that action. You know what I mean? Like, so from someone selling their house, that's great. If you're trying to buy it, it's a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
that's
you
the
went in,
hard
you
part.
found a house you fell in love with, and then it's like,
Yeah.
boop, 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 boop. Oh,
So I'm
shit.
telling all the buyers now, I'm saying, look, if you're thinking about, because a lot of people, the spring is like the magic season for all home buying and selling, okay? So I'm telling people, you should start looking now. Because if you don't, the spring's going to be a berserk. I'm going to have a lot less hair than I have right now.
Oh, yeah?
These kids are going to be tearing things
Well,
out.
let me ask the question. So,
Yeah.
as a real estate, is it lucrative for you? What I'm trying to say, or is it just
Sure.
tough?
No. It is because what happens is when the market's doing very well, sellers are more apt to want to sell. I mean, I know that, like I said, the inventory is low, but it's way easier to say, hey, look, your house is probably going to sell for more money. And there's all kinds of different things you can look at. But for me, like I'm about 60-40. So 60% sell, listing and about 40% buy. So all the people that I'm taking out as buyers, it means you got to hustle. You got to throw all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I give you a couple examples. So
Keep it short. I don't want this to be a marker segment.
I'm sorry. This is my area of expertise.
Oh,
You brought me on
so
for.
to the point. When he's talking about his markers.
He did
Continue.
it 2 seconds. He did two podcasts.
I
though.
thought it was super interesting. I
Okay,
think what
so-
you're talking about is interesting.
So I had a client who, this is a good story too. Like she reached out to me on Facebook, was a former student. She said, we really want to see this house. And that usually doesn't happen. They want to see it,
they found it on the web, and they're like, dude,
I
I'm
wanna see
loving
this
everything
house.
about
Right.
this, where it's at.
So to get it, it was multiple offers. To get it, we had to do things like write a personal letter to pull at the heartstrings a little bit.
Jesus,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Because that's the thing you do.
It's
Because
a business transaction. Like, kiss my ass with your letter,
but
man.
no, but
it's business.
But think of it this way, and you might be different, okay, but most sellers have an emotional attachment to their home,
Passionate
and they
about
want a family with kids to buy it. That's what they
Yeah.
want usually.
And-
So you got to try everything you can. Like you give them all kinds of stuff. Like you can stay in the house for free for 30 days. There's all kinds of things you can give them, but you just got to keep loading it up. So
I'm just different, man. Because so next door,
Yep.
I'm pretty familiar with the family that's selling the house next door, the mother who owned the house, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, they're pouring money into. I go, man, just turn and burn this. And they're like, well, we got to make sure we get good buyers in this neighborhood.
They're doing what now? They're pouring money into
They're
it.
either trying to fix it up. That's what I said.
Yeah,
I go, what are you
I
doing?
tell people not to ever do. I was at a listing point yesterday. I told
people
them,
are
look,
gonna come in and rip out it. They had it painted and shit. I go, what's the point?
Yeah, the only time you do that is if it's like an eyesore. Like if you go in your bathroom,
it's
and
multicolored
it's just
pink.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's the only time you do.
If it's generic, you keep it generic and keep it because when I come in, I want a blue bathroom. Bergeron wanted a gray bathroom.
Right, your chances of knowing what the buyer wants.
See, What do you? Let me ask a question here though too. Do you find that most people come to it as a business transaction, or are most people passionate about it, or is it
no?
50-50?
It's going to be a feeling most times on both sides.
Yeah.
Like even like so people come to me and they
annoying.
go, I
business,
want
man.
1,600 square foot. And I want this, not that. And what they do is they walk into a house that's 1,400 square feet with different levels and things like that. And they go, yep, this is it. You look around, that's what they go.
200 last.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's so different. It's just it's almost always a feeling. The only time it becomes a business thing is like people that don't have to sell. And they come to you, I want this number. I'm like, well, you can want that number and you can want crap in this hand. And they get them, I mean, like,
To his point of the letter, right? So my in-laws bought a house in the Del Webb community in Brownstown. New construction, really super nice. And the guy who bought it from brand new, they bought it from. My mother-in-law is an old bank, hound. So she lowballed the guy. And the guy sent her a letter. And I'm like, I would have tore up that letter so fast.
Like a response letter?
Correct, about like what he's done for. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't even want contact.
Yeah,
with
that would
whoever
I would be walking away. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd have told you to kiss my ass. Like, dude, you like it or don't. Accept it, don't accept it.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. You know what I mean? If I want to burn your house down when I buy it, as long as I gave you a check for it, like.
And I tell people, too, like when people are hesitant to put an offer in, I tell them, look, the worst they're going to do is say no, and they're going to say no to me, not you.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
don't
they're not
give a
going
shit. Take it, don't take
scream
it,
at you
right?
on the phone. Yeah, they're not going to scream at you.
That's what I pay you for, right?
Yeah.
And then the same thing goes for, like, do you have an issue with, because, again, Nextdoor did it to me, and I'm only thinking because I just recently spoke with them.
Yep.
There's too much information for people out there now too. Like with the Zillows and all this kind of stuff, people like think shit's worth a mint. It's like, well, but Zillow doesn't send someone out to assess the area.
Yeah,
they just kind of go.
It's an algorithm. It's an algorithm
it's,
that decides. Yeah.
And then they come to you and they're like, well, Zillow is worth 165. It compares to 120, but it's 165.
So there's lots of things that I have to do before I get there to make sure I don't fall into that. First, I got to look on Zillow and see what it says.
Yeah. Right? So you come to it with that same
Second, I got to know what they owe.
Yeah,
because that's important. What they're going to clear. Okay. Third, I got to know what they think they want to sell it for. Like if some guy says, I had one guy do this to me, and like he was in Romulus, and it was I didn't see the house because he wanted a ridiculous number. When I pulled the cops, I'm like, sir, I'm sorry. I can't help you. You had to find somebody else.
Because it's not worth your time.
Yeah, no, it's because you're just going to be running around in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's but that's easy if you ask simple questions. But you gotta dig a little bit. So
yeah.
Well, besides being on Fat Guys on the little podcast. Also, tell them about your live feeds you're going to have.
So we're going to do Don Lawrence, a gentleman, another colleague of mine in my office. We're going to do a Wednesday night show, 7 o'clock till, 8. It's going to be short. And just let people ask questions. We did it this Wednesday.
Okay.
Almost 250 people were watched live, and people like 600 people have seen it. And people were asking questions. I mean, like one of the questions was, if you're buying an investment home, how much do you have to put down? Right, stuff. So that's
where are you guys doing it at? At the office?
Yeah, just at the office. Yep. Okay. Yep. And I'm going to probably do one YouTube video, like a short, like 5 or 10 minute one myself on different things, because people are anywhere I go, and people hear you're a realtor, they want to ask you questions. They want to ask you where the market is, and they want to ask you, well, we don't know about this. And it amazes me.
Try fixing homes. I get the same questions all the time, too.
Fixing homes? What do you mean?
Well, like knowing what I know, so then I need a new roof, I need a new furnace, how much does this cost?
Right,
I need this. Like, okay, man,
yeah.
I get it. I don't do that for a living. Like, it's okay. Yeah, it's the same vein.
Well, like I was a listing appointment yesterday, and I have a handyman guy and I have a contract. And I tell people, I said, look, handyman's going to be cheaper. He could probably do almost all the same stuff. Contractor's going to be a little more professional. You probably wait longer too. And my handyman guy came over and said it's going to be this, and this is how much it is.
Sure.
It's one of those kind of things. But yeah, so we're going to do, like I said, Wednesday, 7 o'clock every Wednesday.
On your Facebook feed?
Yep. And I tell you what, so I give you guys a lot of credit with the stuff that you do here. Like I tried to learn how to take it off Facebook Live and get it into YouTube. It's like a whole process.
It's weird. It's almost like someone knew what he was doing here.
It is.
But that's the power of YouTube, though. Is like you can look stuff up and like everybody.
Yeah,
like there was like 17 different people talking. I'm like, all right, I can figure this out.
Just be careful. There's a lot of user agreements where they don't want you to live stream both to Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
What do you mean? Explain.
Facebook's terms and use and stuff like that. a lot of them don't want you streaming to multiple platforms. at the
There's
same
ways
time.
around that.
So
But
will
there's way-
they
there's-
ban you or something like that?
If they catch you, yeah.
There's
wait.
different cloud services though that you can use to
there's
have
ways-
those agreements.
There's ways around it, but just be aware of it.
So do you guys want to hear about the 2 times I got suspended from Twitter? Wanna